Welcome to Wisdom Woman podcast. I believe that is in constant change and growth, not in perfection, that we find happiness. In this podcast, I'm going to be talking with top performance professionals about tools, techniques, new ideas on how to develop your communication skills, use your creative thinking, be a team player, manage your tasks like a pro, be motivated, become an expert on relationships, and a problem solver. Everything you need to be 5 stars in all areas of your life. My intention is to help you develop your skills and find balance between your professional and personal life. My name is Bettina Meyer-Flug, and I hope I can be your trusted advisor. Hello, we are here today to talk about how to find out your sweet spot and turn it into a gratifying career. Anyone looking for guidance on finding personal happiness, success at work, and fulfillment at home should watch this video and listen to all the advices we're going to give away today. At times, we have um, work in our careers that we haven't feel this fulfillment by going to work every day, and maybe sometimes something change in your life and you want something new, something more challenged, but you don't know where to go. Unfortunately, due to COVID, a lot of people had big changes in their career. Now they're working from home, a new environment, new challenges, but how to find the sweet spot, the perfect work for you. And to talk about the situation, I invited today Daniel. We met here in the United States, but he's also from Brazil, and he has faced something unique in his career. And I will let him explain about his situation and how he overcome all those challenges and now found his sweet spot in a new career. He just started a brand new job, and Danielle, can you tell us about your story? How do you end up here in the United States and how everything started, like changing your career, giving up your job to follow your family here to United States? Please tell us all about it.
Oh, thank you, Bettina, for this opportunity to be here. I'm glad to be talking a little bit about my life, my career, and see if I can inspire someone to follow or maybe to look into some advice here. Like that, to come here to US was like a dream. I think we start thinking about that back in 2016, so it was like 6 years ago. And then we were looking into opportunities, where to go: Australia, UK, Canada, US. And so like we were thinking like which country we would like to move, and then life like took us like from one side to the other side. And and finally last year, like in 2020, actually not last year, 2 years ago, 2020, we had like an offer for my wife to be relocated here to US. And then you found, okay, that's perfect, because I mean, like to live in Colorado, like in this northern Colorado parts of it, is was like kind of a dream, like okay, that we can like put everything together, like live in a nice place, calm, quiet. I think enjoy like quality of life, and avoid like the big chaos of big cities, like because like moving to New York, I guess like San Francisco, Toronto, or London, like would be pretty much like living in São Paulo, right? Like just the chaos, of everyday traffic jams, a lot of people and everything. And here there's like so many things going on, and you still have a lot of quality, like you don't have that much of pollution. You have like a beautiful city, clean and everything. So it was kind of a living the dream, to move here. But for that to become part, like one of us had to change the life, how we would like carry on with the career of both of us. And then at the beginning, I was like so anxious because like my wife had the job here, and I say, okay, now I need to move on. Like, and what do I need to do? And and it was nice because by that time, like I was like in a mentoring process with the previous CEO of the company I used to work for. and it was great to talk to him, because he's saying, listen, now it's time for you to support your family. You need to think different, and not anymore like to find a new job. This transition is going to take time. You're going to have to look for several things, and at the beginning it's going to be really tough for both of you. So if you can stay home, let's say like that, and support your family in the transition, would be great. So that was like back in August 2020, and then like finally in February, we managed to move to US. Due to COVID, it took longer than we expected to get the visa and all the approvals and everything. I managed to arrive here, so we moved here. I had to leave my career in Accor. There was like the company I was working for the past 14 years, so like it was a long journey. Like it's mostly my only job. I had some other like small jobs before, but working for Accor was like my entire career. I started back in UK, and then I was working in one hotel, like in the operations, and then I moved to the corporate side, and then to Brazil, and it was like really nice to grow with the company, like and had I had so many opportunities along the years, to change jobs within the company. And it was great, but like okay, but then at this point I had no job. Like okay, what I'm gonna do now? Like
But what was your position at Accor Hotels when you decided to quit and follow your family here to United States?
I was controller for South America. I was in charge of all the financial planning and analysis for like, the South American hub, and also for the accounting side for Brazil. So like I had a lot of responsibilities. I had a big team. Like so many challenges going on every day. Working long hours, and I was really happy working there. It was difficult, to leave a job which you are happy, doing what you like to do and everything.
But
And
then
then
you move
some,
here and then you figure out how life can be without working. Was that a good feeling, not working for a while as well? That you were able to support your family, be with your daughter, adapt her to school. Tell us about the good experience of being at home too.
yeah, that was great, as well. Like so, finally, I realized okay, you stay at home is nice as well, and it was great, to have enough time, to provide to my family, to stay together with my daughter, to take her to school, to play with her, take her to I don't know to the hairdresser, like be able to go around with her, go shopping for groceries, everything. Like she was like my partner, at the beginning, and it was really good to know she's young. So when we arrived here, she was only 2 years old. She completed 3 years in March last year. So I managed to enjoy quite a lot of time with her, while she's growing and adapting. And and I was really happy to see her like speaking English. Like okay, there was always like a question. Even though she was going to school in Brazil, and she had a lot of contact with the language. But how would be like her adjustment here? And it was nice to see how she adjusted like pretty quickly. Even though she had some challenges at the beginning, but it was very good to be able to be there. And play with her, support her, to give like all the love that she needed, at that moment. So it was like really, really gratifying, to be able to have like this 1 year gap, let's say like this. So like I kind of stopped working like back in February last year, and restarted now in February this year. So it's like a 1 year gap. Like so many people go around on traveling. So I came traveling and I stay at home, with my family, and it was like awesome, to have these opportunities to be closer to my daughter.
This is when we met almost 6 months ago, and you were like kind of figuring out what would you like to do for your life, and it was a big question mark. Should I go back working or should I stay home? Should I create my own company? Should I find a job that I can do from home? And this is when we started doing our coaching together. And can you tell us how the coaching process helped you figure out what was important to you and how to find the sweet spot, the ideal work for you?
Yeah, I think there is like two moments, like so at the beginning, like okay, what should I do, and shall I stay home, I can dedicate my all my time, to taking care of the house, or trying to find something and like you say, like starting a new company, like be more like I don't know, and like be kind of free on my time, and choose my schedule, or trying to go back to the corporate side. So at the beginning, I started to have some opportunities, like maybe to help my father with his company, and some other small projects, and I realized like okay, that's nice. That's something which I enjoy doing, like helping business, helping people, small business, to try to thrive, um, but at some point, I realized that okay, I think I prefer the corporate side. Like I like for 14 years I was there, and I kind of enjoyed that. Like the pressure of the corporate side. Like having so many people to talk around, like so many meetings, and like targets. Like things like going on all the time. So I kind of say okay, I think I prefer to go to the corporate side, and when I took that final decision, I took a while to decide that because it's not simple, when you have other things at stake, like my family, my daughter, and all these changes, and it was nice to talk to Bettina, and she could support me, like you need to think about your mission, like what's your mission like yesterday, and what's your mission tomorrow. It's not only about it today. Okay, we need to change, we need to adapt, and so I started, like target making like my targets. What do I want to do? What do I want to accomplish? What what's my new mission, like so my first mission when I came here was like to support my family, and there was like a very clear contract with my wife. She said like for 6 months you're going to stay at home, and then like we set that target. Okay, for 6 months I'm going to stay at home. At the end, like it took longer, took 1 year, but for the first 6 months, like we already had decided that back in the past, and that was like kind of my mission and my goal, and then like
The whole
okay,
family to the new life environment.
yeah, and there is so many things, and like not only talking with my mentor, talking with my previous boss like Matthew. He had this experience, of moving like so many countries with family, and then he said, Daniel, like even like because like at the beginning we were thinking okay, maybe you could work remotely for Accor, that could be an option, but he said, Daniel, like even if like you want, you're not gonna be able to do that. Like your wife is gonna need your help there, because there is so many things. Like you need to find a house, you need to find a car, you need to like find documents, like adjust to school. Like there is so many things going on. And it was nice to talk to Matthew because like he had that experience, and every day I say thank you to him, because I didn't push, to keep my job at a core, because I wouldn't do like both things nicely, like I wouldn't be able to take care of my family the way I supposed to, and neither I would like be able to deliver at my work, and Bettina helped me, like to figure out this, like so I established this new mission, new goals for 2022, and finally it was great because I managed, to have like this nice opportunity to work, and they offer me a position, which I could work like I mean the company doesn't know what they're gonna do yet, but like ideally they're gonna be like a couple of days at home, a couple of days at the office, like when they decide to go back. But for now we are working remotely, so that's awesome because I can still, take my daughter to school, then picking her up, and trying to I'm trying to adjust my schedule. Today was only my third day, so like everything is so fresh. We never know how it's going to be in the future, but I'm really happy that I managed, to accomplish this as a goal, for 2022.
And how important it was for you to have clear values in your life to choose the ideal work? Like what is important for you right now? Thinking about it and sharing with your family, how important it was to have clear values?
Oh, that's so important. We need to think about our values. Like what how we feel. Like okay, family, work, everything like has to come right, but we need to balance each other. So, and not only that, like you need to think about life as like there are a few pillars. Like you need to think about your body, your mind. And family, like I think in the professional side, I think there is like four pillars, which are very important. And like you need to think like a house. You have this structure, you have four pillars. If you take one down, for sure you're gonna feel that in the future. Like you might hold the house for a while, but we need to think always in the long term, and how to balance all of that. So for me that was like something very important, to make it clear, and it helped me guide, to decide which job to take. And it was awesome. And finally, like we need to be very grateful as well, because sometimes we just forget to say no, just thank you, like because what we have today, like okay, are we healthy, are we happy, whatever we have, we need to be thankful for that. Not only looking, into the future, what I want to have, but sometimes we need to be thankful for what we have today. So, and I was glad, that the right moment like came, this offer, to join like a great company, and it was kind of the right position, and I'm really happy for that.
Thank you, Daniel. And something that I know really touched you inside the Happiness Journey program was the triads test, the personality test that we did together, the assessment for you to get to know you better. Can you talk a little bit about this experience of how this helped you on your self awareness and how this will, how can I say, how can this help in your new path, working in a brand new environment, a new culture, knowing more about your personality and your skills?
Yeah, the Hallows method, the triad, like is great. Like it's simple, enough for everyone to understand. Like even me, like I'm not a psychologist. I'm not like a person from HR. Like my background is finance, and it made like my life much more clear, in relation to that. And I was talking to Bettina, like I could go back like at the beginning of my career while working in the hotel, what were like my skills, what was the difference like that made me like so happy to work for the company, and start there, like and grow with them, so figuring out like what are your strengths, like how you can work on that, and also your blind spots, like so it helped me a lot. So the triads, like it's awesome, because like you can understand like how is like the main behaviors of the people, let's say like that, like in a very simple way. And and it was nice to see like how like my attitude to try to solve problems, like try to jump and find solutions, how it helped me, like since day one in my previous company, and I hope it's gonna help me in this one. And so that there was like a very nice methodology, and especially like when you are a leader, is good, because you start to understand a bit more people, like so you can like feel like okay, like this person has like this potential, has these strengths, so how can we work with them, to take the most out of them, and and avoid, like situations where like okay, like this is not the right moment, this is not the right task, for that person. So like it was great. I still apply it today, and I hope I can use that like for a long time. And maybe like even if it comes the opportunity, to apply the test, to the team, why not?
And in your point of view, what was the best thing happened to you during the Happiness Journey program? What was the tool that was most helpful for you?
Yeah, I go back again, like, establishing my mission and my goals. Like, uh, I think that was like something very important. And it's funny because, like, I'm so used to do that, like, in the company side, like, but I wasn't like very used to think about that, and maybe at least to write down. Sometimes, like, okay, we have dreams, but like, okay, it's just like a dream. Okay, I want to drive a Porsche, like, okay, so that's just my dream. But I never like wrote down what I want to do, like what I want to establish and target for the year, and then track that, like, in a personal way. But professionally, like, I was always establishing goals, getting goals from my superiors, like, okay, those are your goals for the year, the company goals, and think about the mission, company mission, like departmental mission and everything. So I never like organized myself, in this way, so I could think about those targets and my mission in a personal way, and I'm glad, like, during the happiness journey, like, I managed to look into that and write it down,
Yes, thank you. And in your point of view, what type of people can benefit on participating on this Happiness Journey program?
everyone. I i think everyone can join the program. There is always something to learn, and if not to learn, like, it's something just to refresh, and you can organize yourself and to use those tools, provided by the happiness journey, so you can, like, like, move on with your life, basically.
Yes, if you have a career change or are facing any big change in your life, I think this is an ideal program. So, Happiness Journey is a 6-week challenge program where we coach online and in person if you want. And you have 30 different coaching tools to apply in your life. And Daniel was part of it. He was able to change his career. Now he just started a job a week ago. So, we're very proud of his journey here. Thank you for sharing your story, Daniel. I think it was very helpful. And I hope if you want to learn more, you can go to our website, www.witty.tech, or send us an email that you're going to see here at the end of this live event. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Wisdom Woman Podcast. To hear past and future episodes, please subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast channel. We appreciate your reviews. To give us suggestions for future show topics, please write to us at podcast@witty.tech. If you're interested in having me as your trusted advisor, schedule a strategic coaching session on my website, www.witty.tech.